This week we're going to be looking at the poetry of Robert Browning, who is considered to be the father of the dramatic monologue. First thing you need to understand are the basic components of the dramatic monologue. In a dramatic monologue, we have a single character doing the speaking, and through the speaker's words, we find out about the situation that the speaker is in, and also we find out a little bit about the character. Sometimes what we find out about the character is unintentional, meaning what the character says tells us something about him or her that really he does not mean for us to understand. You're going to find this certainly in My Last Duchess. Also within a dramatic monologue, there's some kind of silent listener. Whatever the character is saying is actually directed at some person that we never really hear from in the poem, but we know is there listening. So what I would like to do this week is get you started on each of the poems with a little bit of brief introductory information, an overview, and get you started just to make sure that you're off to a good start. For your assignment while you read Part 2, the Brownings, you're going to need to have an understanding of both the action of each monologue as well as the characters. So I will start you on each one of them, and then you will be able to go and finish the assignment. I will not do My Last Duchess. I strongly recommend going through the slideshare presentation that you'll find and looking carefully at the information regarding this poem. That presentation will help you to identify the type of person that the speaker is in My Last Duchess. So, first of all, let's take a look at Life in the Love, which is a shorter dramatic monologue. It is a dramatic monologue because we do have one speaker speaking, although we're not quite sure who he is speaking to. The opening lines, though, of this poem set up the rest of the piece, and so I will go through the opening lines with you, and then I will let you draw your own conclusions from the remaining lines. So the opening. Escape me, never, beloved. While I am I, and you are you, so long as the world contains us both, me the loving and you the love. While the one eludes, must the other pursue. Okay, so we have this speaker, it's a man, and he is speaking perhaps to his beloved, or perhaps to somebody who is listening, other than her, and he's saying, you're never going to escape me. Okay, so as long as I'm me, and you're you, as long as they're both living, the world contains us both, he is going to love her. While the one eludes, must the other pursue. This is a key point in the poem. It's something you need to understand. We have one, we can presume the woman is eluding him. She's reluctant. She doesn't really care for him, doesn't really love him, not really sure about his pursuing her. But he's going to keep on pursuing her. Must the other pursue. So, opening 7 lines, set up this idea of this guy who is chasing after a woman that he loves, who is reluctant to return his affection. You need to consider that opening as you look at the remaining lines. What type of man is this? What type of character is this? What do we learn about him from what he has to say about his love and his pursuit of this woman? The second poem that I'd like to get you started on is Porphyria's Lover. This is a longer work than the one previous, but is again in the form of a dramatic monologue. Once again, we have a male speaker, and in this case, the male speaker is telling us the story of what happens one very rainy evening. Something that you should know about this piece is that, yes, it does tell a story, and the story that it tells us is disturbing. The individual that is doing the speaking, we find out some disturbing things about him, and something extremely disturbing that he's actually done. So let's just get started together again, so you kind of get the beginning of the story, and then I'll let you continue reading on your own to learn both the conclusion to the story and also why I described this speaker as most definitely creepy. The rain set early into night, the sullen wind was soon awake. It tore the elm tops down for spite, and did its worst to vex the lake. Those opening 4 lines just give us the setting. We have an early evening, okay? It's coming in with the rain, the wind. It's a nasty night out. I listened with heart fit to break when glided in Porphyria. So Porphyria shows up at this guy's door. Straight she shut the cold out in the storm, and kneeled and made the cheerless grate blaze up, and all the cottage warm. So she comes into the house and gets the fire going. Which done, she rose, and from her form withdrew the dripping cloak and shawl, and laid her soiled gloves by, untied her hat, and let the damp hair fall. And last she came down by my side and called me. So this is obviously somebody that she knows. She comes in, she starts the fire, she makes herself comfortable, gets out of the rain, and she sits down with him. From here on out, the story does begin to get twisted. Okay, we learn a little bit about her feelings towards him, and then the speaker does something that most of us would consider shocking, or at least I hope that you find it shocking. What I would like you to do is I'd like you to continue reading it. Again, as you read, keep in mind it's telling you a story. So you don't necessarily have to get hung up on every single word. You need to get the gist, the basics of the story. And that will tell you enough about the character for you to make a determination of exactly the type of person this speaker is. Once you have finished it, don't forget to go back through and complete the While You Read Part 2 of the Brownings. If you have any questions, as always, please contact me and I will be happy to help you.